Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you must stop announcing what you're going to do and just start doing it. You don't need applause and care enough. You don't need validation. You don't need everyone to understand the vision that God placed in your heart. Because when you're truly focused on building something great, the work speaks louder than any words ever could. We live in a world that's addicted to attention, where people want to be seen working more than they want to actually work. Real growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. Real transformation happens in the shadows. It happens in the early mornings when no one is watching, in the late nights when everyone else is sleeping. That's where champions are born, in the silence of dedication. See, silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It's the art of protecting your energy from the noise of comparison and the opinions of others. When you move in silence, you move with purpose. You move with clarity, because the less you speak, the more you can hear the voice of your calling guiding you. Don't tell people your plans. Show them your results. Let them see the fruit of your discipline. Let them see the harvest that came from your unseen grind. Because when success shows up, it doesn't whisper. It roars. Your success will speak volumes that words never could. You won't have to defend yourself. You won't have to explain yourself. Your consistency, your growth, your excellence, they'll do the talking for you. So stop chasing validation. Stop explaining your process to those who can't understand your vision. Stay quiet. Stay consistent. Stay humble. There is power in the silence. Challenge the kind of power that doesn't have to shout, doesn't have to prove, doesn't have to be seen to be real. The world has confused silence with weakness, but silence is not the absence of power. It is the proof of control. It is knowing when to speak, when to simply be. See, anybody can make noise. Anybody can talk about what they're going to do, what they're planning to build, what dreams they have. It takes strength to stay quiet while you work. It takes discipline to hold your vision close to your heart and let your actions do the talking. When you've got something real, you don't need to convince people. You just keep moving, you keep building, and you let time reveal the truth. Silence is not the sound of defeat. It is the sound of preparation. It is in silence that ideas are born, faith is strengthened, and purpose is refined. You cannot hear your inner guidance in the noise of everyone else's opinions. You cannot receive divine direction when you're surrounded by voices telling you what you can or cannot do. That's why sometimes life isolates you. That's why you're pulled away from the crowd. Not because you're losing, but because you're being prepared. There are seasons when you must disappear to develop, when you must be unseen to be sharpened. The seed doesn't grow in public, it grows underground, in darkness, in silence. And the moment it breaks through the soil, the world sees only the bloom, not the struggle, not the stillness, not the waiting. So don't despise your quiet season. Don't think silence means nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, everything is forming. Silence gives you space to listen, not to others, but to your own soul. When you step back from noise, you begin to hear your purpose whispering. You begin to recognize the difference between what's urgent and what's important. You begin to realize that your power is not in the volume of your voice, in the depth of your vision. The strong don't always roar. Sometimes strength looks like calm in the middle of chaos. Sometimes strength is holding your tongue when your ego wants to defend itself. Sometimes strength is smiling and walking away, knowing that time will reveal what words never could. You don't have to prove your worth to anyone who cannot see your value. You don't have to explain your purpose to those who are not assigned to understand it. Silence teaches maturity. It's easy to respond to critics, easy to post about your plans, easy to argue to be understood. But true wisdom knows when to save your energy. Every word you speak has power. Wasting it on the wrong audience drains you. The ones who truly know their mission conserve their energy for the work itself. You see, when you're working in silence, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken. People may not see it. They may not understand it. When your time comes, your results will make the noise for you. Every late night, every unseen effort, every quiet sacrifice, it all accumulates into a success story that needs no introduction. Sometimes silence is protection. There are dreams too delicate to be spoken too early. There are visions that can die in the wrong atmosphere. So you stay silent, not out of fear, out of wisdom. You nurture what's growing inside you until it's strong enough to stand the pressure of exposure. Just like a child in the womb, your destiny needs time to form. It needs silence to strengthen. And when you understand this, you stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to convince the world of what you know in your spirit. Because when your moment comes, you won't have to say a word. The fruit will speak. The success will speak. The transformation will speak. Silence is the language of focus. It's where distractions lose their power. It's where you learn to channel your energy toward what truly matters. When you stop talking about everything, you gain the ability to hear what really deserves your attention. And once you master silence, you become unshakable because you're no longer moved by noise. There will be people who mistake your silence for arrogance. Let them. There will be people who think your quietness means weakness. Let them. Because you know what they don't. That you're not being still because you're scared. You're being still because you're strategic. You're not ignoring them because you don't care. You're protecting your peace because that's where your power lies. When you learn to be silent in chaos, you learn to move in strength. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop fighting unnecessary battles. You begin to understand that silence is not surrender, it's self-control. And self-control is the highest form of power. The most powerful storms make the least sound before they hit. The greatest breakthroughs are often preceded by a calm stillness. Strongest individuals are those who have learned that silence is sacred. It's not emptiness, it's alignment. So if you find yourself in a quiet season, don't be discouraged. You're not being overlooked. You're being prepared. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. Keep your head down. Keep working. Keep believing. Because one day, the silence you're in today will be the sound of applause tomorrow. And when that day comes, when your work finally speaks, you'll realize that the silence wasn't punishment. It was protection. It was the space that allowed you to grow without distraction, to heal without pressure, to build without interference. So stand tall in your silence. Let it refine you, not define you. Keep moving even when no one is watching. Keep believing even when no one is clapping. Because true strength doesn't announce itself. It simply arrives. Too many people lose themselves chasing the applause of others instead of mastering the assignment placed inside them. They live for validation, not for vision. They crave attention more than alignment. That's why their growth feels so fragile, because it depends on the approval of others instead of the conviction within. You can't build your destiny while checking who's watching you do it. You can't pour your heart into your purpose while constantly seeking permission from people who don't even understand your path. Focus means locking in so deeply on your goal that you stop worrying about who's clapping, who's judging, or who's even paying attention. Because focus and validation cannot live in the same space. One demands solitude, the other demands an audience. One builds you, the other drains you. When you live for validation, you're chasing shadows, constantly moving, constantly proving, never at peace. But when you live for focus, you're grounded. You know who you are, what you're called to do, and where you're headed. See, focus doesn't need a crowd. Focus doesn't need confirmation. Focus just needs direction. It's the power to say, I don't need everyone to understand this. I just need to obey what I'm called to do. And here's the truth, the more focused you become, the more misunderstood you'll be. People will think you've changed. They'll think you're distant. They'll say you're acting different. But they won't understand that you're just protecting your peace. Care enough. You're not being rude. You're being responsible with your energy. Because when you've got purpose, you don't have time for every conversation, every distraction, every opinion. Focus means choosing what deserves your attention and letting go of what doesn't. It means knowing that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every critic is worth responding to. Not every comment is worth chasing. When you know your value, you don't need validation. When you know your assignment, you don't need applause. People will always have something to say before you succeed. They'll doubt you when you start succeeding. They'll envy you when you fail. They'll mock you. But if your focus is steady, none of that will move you. You'll realize that opinions don't build legacies. Actions do. Sometimes you'll have to walk alone to stay focused. Sometimes you'll have to stay silent while others boast. Sometimes you'll have to say no to opportunities that distract you even when they look good. Because every yes that isn't aligned with your purpose is a seed of distraction planted in your soil of destiny. Focus requires sacrifice, demands discipline. It's not easy to stay committed when no one is cheering you on, when your efforts go unnoticed, when your progress feels invisible. But that's where greatness is formed, in the unseen grind, in the quiet consistency, in the moments where you choose purpose over praise. When you live for validation, your confidence depends on reaction. But when you live with focus, your confidence depends on conviction. You stop needing people to tell you that you're good enough because you know you are. You stop needing others to remind you that you're capable because you've seen what happens when you give your best. Focus transforms pressure into progress. Validation turns pressure into panic. When you're focused, you see every challenge as a lesson. When you're validation driven, every challenge feels like rejection. That's why so many people quit too soon. They're not tired of the work, tired of not being seen doing it. But your job is not to be seen. Your job is to become, to build, to evolve, to execute. Because one day, when the time is right, everything you've been working on in private will be revealed in public. And when that moment comes, you won't need validation. You'll have evidence the world rewards noise, but destiny rewards focus. The loudest people rarely have the deepest impact. The ones who move quietly with purpose end up shaking the world without ever asking for attention. You have to learn to be okay with not being understood. You have to be okay with not being liked. Because when your vision is divine, it won't make sense to people who are living for attention. And that's fine. Their validation is not your destination. Their applause cannot carry your mission. Focus doesn't mean you ignore people. It means you prioritize your purpose. It means you value your inner peace more than outer approval. It means you keep your eyes on what's eternal, not what's trending. The problem with validation is that it makes you addicted to approval. Every time someone praises you, you crave it again. But focus makes you addicted to growth. Every time you take one more step toward your goal, you crave progress, not applause. So stop announcing your every move. Stop waiting for someone to co-sign your dreams. Stop delaying your purpose because you're afraid someone won't like your process. You don't need their permission to become who you're meant to be. You just need focus, fierce, unbreakable focus. Because once you find focus, you become unstoppable. You stop explaining. You stop chasing. You stop apologizing for dreaming big. You realize that you were never created to please people. You were created to fulfill purpose. Every distraction that pulls you away from your focus is a thief of your destiny. Every moment you spend seeking validation is a moment you could have spent building your vision. Every time you lower your standards to be accepted, you lose a piece of your potential. Focus requires courage. The courage to walk alone, the courage to trust your timing, courage to keep working even when no one notices. But in the end, focus always wins, because what you build in silence will always outlast what others build for applause. The truth is validation fades, but excellence echoes. People may forget your name, but they'll remember your impact. And when you live focused, your work speaks long after the applause stops. When you wake up every day with purpose in your heart, passion in your spirit, and focus in your eyes, you won't need the world to tell you you're doing enough, because you'll know you are walking in alignment. Because one day, the same people who ignored you will hear about you. The same people who doubted you will learn from you. The same world that overlooked you will celebrate what you built. Not because you sought their validation, but because you stayed faithful to your focus. We live in a world that celebrates results, but rarely respects the process. Everyone wants to stand on the stage, but few want to build behind the curtain. Everyone wants the reward, but not the routine that creates it. Yet the truth that most people never understand is this: the real work happens in private. The greatest growth doesn't happen when the world is watching. It happens in the unseen moments, the quiet hours, the lonely nights, the mornings when the alarm rings and no one is there to cheer you on. Greatness is not born in public applause. It is built in private preparation. Every success story that shines in the light began in the shadows. The seed doesn't grow in the sunlight first. It grows underground in darkness, silence. It's hidden, unseen, uncelebrated. But in that dark place, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is building. The foundation is being set. The same principle applies to your life. Before your dream blossoms, it must take root in private. There's something sacred about the private grind, the work nobody sees. It's where your discipline is tested. It's where your character is formed. It's where you learn to rely not on the noise of approval, but on the still, quiet voice inside that says, keep going. Because real work, the kind that transforms your life, is not about performance, it's about persistence. When no one is watching, that's when your commitment is revealed. That's when your heart shows whether it's hungry or just curious. Anybody can look motivated in front of an audience, but only the disciplined stay consistent when the room is empty, when the cameras are off, when the applause stops, when the world moves on. That's when the true warriors keep working. You see, the private moments are where destiny is decided. It's in the practice after practice. It's in the repetition when you're tired. It's in the rewriting of plans that didn't work. The world sees the product, but they don't see the process. They see the success, but they don't see the struggle. They see the light, not the fire it took to get there. Private work is where faith meets action. It's where you choose to believe in your vision even when there's no evidence it's working. It's waking up every day, showing up for yourself, putting in the effort with no guarantee of reward, and doing it anyway. Because you understand the reward doesn't come to those who wait for validation. It comes to those who work in silence. When you work in private, you're not performing, you're preparing. Preparation is power. It gives you confidence that no compliment can give you. It builds a foundation that fame can't shake. Public success without private preparation is fragile. It falls apart under pressure. But when you've done the real work behind the scenes, you're unshakable because your strength isn't borrowed from applause. It's built from effort. Sometimes life will hide you on purpose because you're unworthy, but because you're unfinished. The private season is not punishment. It's preparation. The delay is not denial, it's development. You're being sharpened, refined, equipped. And while others are chasing visibility, you're gaining strength in silence. Don't rush to be seen. Be patient enough to become ready, because exposure before maturity destroys potential. Many people crave the spotlight, but can't handle its heat. They want the crown, but skip the cross. They want recognition without repetition. Those who understand that the real work happens in private, they build differently. They build slow, deep, and steady. In private, you fail quietly. You learn quietly. You grow quietly. Nobody claps for you when you choose discipline over distraction. Nobody celebrates you when you study while others party. Nobody sees the tears you cry when you're trying to figure it out. But those private tears water the seeds of public triumph. You may feel invisible right now. You may feel like your effort doesn't matter because nobody's noticing. But here, this obscurity is not insignificance. Just because they can't see you doesn't mean you're not growing. Just because they don't applaud you doesn't mean you're not advancing. You're becoming something powerful in private. The best version of you is not built in comfort, it's forged in commitment. Every repetition, quiet decision, every time you choose to get back up after failure, that's the real work. That's what shapes champions. The battle is won long before the victory is seen. When the world finally sees your success, they'll call you lucky. They'll say, it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. Those nights weren't lucky. They were lonely. They weren't glamorous, they were grinding. While they slept, you studied. While they doubted, you decided. While they watched, you worked. The private season is where you become dangerous, because it's where you find yourself. It's where you discover your resilience, your limits, and your strength. It's where you stop depending on praise and start depending on purpose. It's where you stop talking about potential and start walking in power. Real work isn't loud. It's consistent. It's not about how fast you move. It's about how steady you stay. It's about showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it. It's about staying faithful to the process, even when progress feels invisible. That's where the transformation happens, not in the crowd, but in the quiet. You can't fake what's built in private. You can't copy authenticity. You can't shortcut development. That's why private work matters. It builds something in you that no one can take away. The grind develops a grit that applause can't give. The unseen struggle creates a strength that recognition can't replace. When your moment comes and the spotlight finally hits you, you'll be ready, not because you practiced being seen, but because you mastered being prepared. The world will see the result, but you'll know the truth. The victory happened long before they saw it. The stage just revealed what the silence created. So don't despise the private season. Embrace it. It's not a delay. It's design. It's not punishment. It's positioning. The quiet grind, the lonely work, the unseen effort, it's all working for your good. You're not hidden because you're forgotten. You're hidden because you're growing. When you finally step into the light, you won't crumble under its weight. You'll shine with purpose. Because when you've done the real work in private, you don't need to fake confidence in public. You'll walk with calm assurance. You'll speak with power. You'll lead with wisdom. You'll move with grace, because you'll know you earned it. You built it. You became it. So keep working. Keep praying. Keep refining. Keep showing up when no one claps. Keep going when no one believes. Your private effort is writing the story of your public victory. One day, the same people who overlooked you will say they always believed in you. But you'll know it wasn't their belief that got you here. It was your consistency. It was your focus. It was your private work. Your energy is your life's currency. It's the invisible power that fuels your thoughts, shapes your emotions, and determines the direction of your destiny. Every dream you pursue, every goal you chase, every relationship you build, they all draw from the same source, your energy. And the truth is, if you waste it on things that don't grow you, you'll have nothing left for the things that need you. Energy is not infinite. You wake up each day with a limited supply. How you spend it decides how far you go. Yet most people give their energy away too easily to arguments, to worry, to overthinking, to people who drain them instead of strengthen them. They wonder why they feel exhausted, uninspired, unmotivated. It's because they've been pouring their power into empty spaces. You must learn to guard your energy the way you guard your time, because your energy shapes your time. Time without energy is useless. You can have all the hours in the world, but if you're drained inside, you'll do nothing with them. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's survival. It's choosing peace over drama, clarity over confusion, purpose over chaos. The moment you realize how valuable your energy is, you'll stop giving it to everything that calls your name. You'll stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You'll stop fighting battles that don't matter. You'll stop chasing validation that adds no value, because every word, every reaction, every thought, it costs energy, and the wise know how to spend it. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not every situation deserves your reaction. You cannot be available to everything and still be effective in anything. Protecting your energy means learning to say no, not out of bitterness, but out of awareness. You have things to build, peace to protect, a destiny to fulfill. You cannot afford to let distractions drain your spirit. People will try to pull you into their storms. Don't go. Stay calm. Stay centered. Some will try to argue with you just to waste your strength. Don't take the bait. Silence is your protection. Detachment is your power. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain your peace to those who thrive on chaos. The moment you learn to walk away from unnecessary drama, you gain back the energy that belongs to your purpose. Energy is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. You can eat right, sleep well, and still feel tired if your spirit is heavy. Emotional exhaustion drains faster than physical fatigue. That's why you must be careful who you allow into your mental space. Every conversation is an exchange of energy. Every connection either adds to you or takes from you. Ask yourself who leaves you feeling inspired, who leaves you feeling empty. Choose wisely, because your circle can either recharge your spirit or poison it. Protecting your energy means knowing when to rest. It means giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to heal. The world glorifies hustle, but true power comes from harmony. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best when you're constantly running on fumes. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest, not quit. Rest. Because rest restores your energy, and your energy restores your focus. When you guard your energy, you start to see your life change. You start to notice what truly matters. The noise gets quieter, your vision gets clearer, and your decisions get stronger. You stop reacting emotionally to everything and start responding intentionally. You begin to live from a place of strength, not survival. Don't give your energy to fear. Fear feeds on your attention. The more you focus on what could go wrong, the more it drains your faith. Use that same energy to believe, to build, to create. Worrying doesn't change tomorrow, it only weakens today. Replace fear with faith. Replace doubt with discipline. Replace anxiety with action. Every moment you waste on what ifs is a moment you could use to make progress. Protecting your energy also means protecting your thoughts. What you think about constantly, you attract. What you dwell on becomes your direction. If your mind is filled with negativity, your energy will always feel heavy. Feed your thoughts with truth, with gratitude, with hope. You can't have peace if you keep replaying pain. Let go of what drains you mentally. The grudges, the guilt, overthinking, because it's stealing your strength quietly. Be careful what you consume. Not just food, but media, conversations, and environments. Your energy is influenced by what you feed it. Too much negativity will dull your light. Too many distractions will scatter your focus. Start being intentional with what you allow in. Not everything deserves space in your spirit. You have to understand peace is not found, it's protected. Joy is not discovered, it's guarded. Confidence is not given, it's maintained. Everything valuable in your life requires protection, and your energy is no different. When you protect it, you operate with power. You become grounded, centered, and unbothered by things that once triggered you. Because when you're rooted in purpose, small things can't shake you anymore. Sometimes protecting your energy means letting go of people, places, and patterns. It's not about hatred, it's about alignment. You can love people from a distance and still preserve your peace. You can forgive without reconnecting. You can care without carrying. Your growth will offend those who benefited from your low energy. But that's okay. You're not here to stay comfortable, you're here to evolve. When you start valuing your energy, you start living differently. You stop chasing people who don't reciprocate effort. You stop over-explaining your boundaries. You stop apologizing for needing space. You realize that protecting your energy is protecting your future. Because wasted energy on the wrong things delays your arrival at the right things. Energy is your personal power. It's the force that fuels your faith, your focus, and your fire. Don't give it to gossip. Don't give it to negativity. Don't give it to distractions. The same energy you use to complain could be used to create. The same energy you use to argue could be used to advance. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you multiply your power. And remember, not everything deserves a response. Sometimes silence is your protection. Sometimes walking away is your victory. Sometimes staying calm when provoked is the loudest statement you can make. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. You've simply reached a place where peace is more valuable than proving a point. So protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every choice you make either adds to your energy or drains it. Choose the conversations that uplift you. Choose the goals that inspire you. Choose the routines that strengthen you, because you can't live a powerful life with a powerless spirit. Your energy is sacred. It's not for everyone. It's not for everything. It's for the things that matter. Your peace, your growth, your calling, your vision. So stop wasting it on noise and start investing it in purpose. Because when your energy is aligned, your life flows differently. Opportunities open, relationships shift, creativity blooms, success follows naturally. The world responds to the energy you give it. So make sure what you're giving is powerful, peaceful, and pure. You only get one life, one body, one spirit. Guard them with wisdom. Don't let anything or anyone drain what took you years to build. In a world full of noise, everyone has something to say. Everyone wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to prove something. The truth is this: words fade, results remain. Talk is cheap, proof is powerful. You don't need to announce your greatness when your work reveals it. You don't have to argue for your value when your results already speak. Let results speak louder than words, because words can deceive, but results never lie. Words can be borrowed, but results must be earned. Anyone can promise, few can perform. Anyone can speak, few can show. The ones who rise, the ones who win, the ones who lead, they are the ones who let their results do the talking. There's a quiet confidence that comes from consistency. Doesn't need validation. It doesn't crave attention. It just builds day after day, step after step, moment after moment. It's not flashy, but it's faithful. It's not loud, but it's lasting. Because real success doesn't come from what you say you'll do. It comes from what you actually do. The world doesn't need to hear your plans. It needs to see your progress. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Show them what you've done. Stop wasting energy trying to convince doubters, critics, or spectators, because when your results show up, they'll silence every voice that questioned you. They'll quiet every doubt that surrounded you. Results are undeniable. They can't be argued with. There's a difference between movement and progress. Some people love to move, to talk, to post, to project, but they don't advance. They mistake attention for achievement. They chase the illusion of success instead of building its foundation. But when you're focused on results, you don't chase impressions, you chase impact. You don't aim to be liked, you aim to be effective. When you're truly working on yourself, you don't need to broadcast it. You don't need to explain the grind. You don't need to defend your process, because those who are busy building don't have time to be busy boasting. You don't see a lion announcing that it's the king of the jungle. Its presence speaks for itself. So why keep explaining who you are when your excellence will reveal it in time? Let them underestimate you. Let them ignore you. Let them laugh, doubt, and criticize. Just keep working, keep growing, keep building. Because one day, your results will speak in a voice they can't silence. You won't have to prove anything. The proof will be standing right in front of them. Results carry authority. They turn doubters into believers. They turn critics into witnesses. People may argue with your opinions, but they cannot argue with your outcomes. You don't have to clap back. Your consistency will. You don't have to justify your journey. Your progress will. You don't have to defend your worth. Your success will handle that for you. But here's the truth. Results don't come easy. They are born in the unseen hours, built through quiet sacrifice, carved by discipline when no one's watching. The ones who let results speak louder than words understand that greatness is not about noise, it's about noticeable transformation. They're not addicted to showing off their effort. They're obsessed with producing excellence. It's easy to talk about what you'll do. It's harder to wake up early, stay focused, push through exhaustion, and do it. It's easy to say you'll change. It's harder to stay committed when no one's applauding. But when you choose work over words, your results become your resume. They tell your story better than any speech ever could. When you let results speak, you stop arguing with small-minded people. You stop wasting energy trying to prove yourself to those who never wanted to understand you. You stop explaining your vision to those who can't see beyond their limitations. Because your time is too valuable to be spent on explanation. It should be invested in execution. Your results will say what words never could. They will say, I stayed consistent when it was hard. They will say, I didn't quit when it got painful. They will say, I believed when no one else did. Your results become your legacy, the undeniable evidence that you showed up, gave your all, and refused to be average. There's a moment when hard work speaks louder than every excuse. A moment when your results echo louder than the voices of doubt. And when that moment comes, you won't have to shout your success. It will whisper through your actions, your achievements, your transformation. People forget promises. They remember performance. They forget speeches, but they remember success. So stop promising yourself that someday you'll start. Someday is today. Don't wait until the world is watching. Start while no one cares. Because when you work in silence and stay faithful in private, your results will make noise in public. When you commit to producing results, you gain something powerful: respect. Not the shallow kind that comes from fame, but the deep kind that comes from consistency. People trust what they can see. And when they see your results, they'll listen to your words differently. Not because you said them louder, but because you've lived them longer. Don't seek to be impressive. Seek to be impactful. Don't aim to look successful. Aim to be successful. Because what's real doesn't need to shout. Tallest trees don't grow overnight. The strongest structures are built on unseen foundations. You may not see progress every day, but if you're working, if you're planting, if you're showing up, your results are growing quietly beneath the surface. And one day, those results will rise. They'll shine brighter than any words ever could. People will ask, how did you do it? When did this happen? And you'll smile because you'll know it happened while they were talking. It happened while they were doubting. It happened while you were busy doing. Let your life be your loudest message. Let your growth be your greatest statement. Let your success be your strongest response. Don't argue. Don't boast. Don't beg to be seen. Just build something that can't be ignored. Because when your results speak, they echo in rooms your words could never reach. So stop talking about the plan. Live the plan. Stop talking about the grind. Stay in the grind. Stop talking about what's coming. Become what's coming. Let your actions define you. Let your achievements introduce you. Let your results remind the world that faith, focus, and consistency still matter. When it's all said and done, the ones who talk the loudest will fade, but the ones who work the hardest will remain, because noise disappears but results endure. There are times in life when you feel unseen, unheard, and unnoticed. Times when it feels like your effort is invisible, your growth is hidden, and your dreams are buried under the weight of waiting. You wonder if anyone sees your grind, if anyone recognizes your dedication. You wonder if all this work in the dark will ever lead to light. But listen closely, your season will come. You won't have to promote yourself. You won't have to prove yourself. You won't have to chase validation. Because when your season arrives, your results, your transformation, your elevation, they'll do the talking for you. Every seed has a season. Every dream has a time. You can't rush the process and expect lasting fruit. A seed planted today doesn't bloom tomorrow. It grows beneath the soil in silence, in darkness, in obscurity. And that's where you are right now. You're in your growing season. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Roots grow deep before flowers reach high. The unseen work builds the visible blessing. Don't despise your quiet season. Don't curse your waiting stage, because that's where strength is being built, character is being shaped, and faith is being stretched. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. You're not being hidden to be forgotten, you're being hidden to be developed. The spotlight is dangerous when you haven't built the strength to carry it. Sometimes God protects you from early exposure because premature success can destroy what slow growth is meant to sustain. You don't need to be seen right now. You need to be solid. You don't need attention. You need alignment. And when you're faithful in the hidden places, when you stay disciplined in the dark, when you keep showing up without applause, that's when your roots grow deep enough to handle the weight of future glory. You can't demand a harvest in spring. You must endure the winter first. Seasons have order, and your life does too. There will come a moment when everything you've prayed for, worked for, cried for, and believed for starts to bloom. And when that moment arrives, you won't have to say a word. People will see it. They'll see your strength, your endurance, your growth, your results. And they'll know. The same ones who doubted you will have to watch what your faith built. The same ones who overlooked you will hear your name spoken in rooms you've never entered. It's easy to get frustrated when your time hasn't come yet. It's easy to look around and see others thriving while you're still struggling. But comparison kills destiny. Their season is not your season. You can't compare your planting stage to someone else's harvest. You can't rush what was designed to grow slow and strong. When it's your time, nothing can stop it. When it's not your time, nothing can force it. That's why you must learn to trust the timing of your life. The same hands that planted the seed will bring the harvest, but only when the soil is ready. Your job is not to chase your season. Your job is to prepare for it, to keep showing up even when no one's watching, to keep refining your craft even when no one's clapping, to keep working, believing, praying, learning, and growing even when it feels like no progress is happening. Because the work you do in private is what your public season will reveal. When the season of breakthrough comes, people will call it sudden. They'll say you got lucky. They'll think it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. It didn't happen suddenly. It happened silently. The years of quiet discipline, the nights of doubt, the mornings of sacrifice. That's what created the moment they now call success. Don't rush to be seen, because when the time is right, your work will announce you. When your season comes, opportunities will chase you. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Favor will find you in places you never expected. The light that once ignored you will shine on you without you having to beg for it. That's what divine timing looks like. It can't be forced, but when it arrives, it can't be stopped. Your season will speak for you in a way your words never could. It will reveal your faith, your endurance, your growth, your discipline. It will speak of how you stayed when others quit, how you believed when others doubted, how you kept building when no one noticed. When it speaks, even your silence will carry authority. Sometimes silence is the loudest language of purpose. You don't have to explain every move. You don't have to justify every pause, because the same people questioning your delay today will be quoting your determination tomorrow. The ones who called you stuck will later call you steady. The ones who overlooked you will say they always believed in you. You'll know it wasn't them. It was your season. Everything beautiful takes time. The sunrise doesn't rush to prove itself. Yet every morning, the world waits for it. You're that sunrise. You may be behind the horizon right now, unseen by most, but the moment will come when your light breaks through, and no one will be able to ignore it. You don't have to shout your arrival. Your glow will say it all. Be patient with yourself. Growth isn't always visible, but it's always happening. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's empty. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's stagnant. Greatness moves like nature, steady, seasonal, sacred. Your season is not lost. It's loading. Every delay carries direction. Every setback carries setup. Every no is pushing you toward a bigger yes. The timing is not off. It's on purpose. Because if it came before you were ready, collapse under your unprepared hands. But when it comes after you've been refined, tested, and strengthened, it will last. So keep planting. Keep watering. Keep believing. Even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if no one understands, your work is not wasted. Your faith is not forgotten. Every act of obedience, every moment of consistency, every sacrifice in silence, it's all building something the world hasn't seen yet. Don't worry about being misunderstood. Don't worry about being unseen. The hidden seasons are holy. The quiet seasons are necessary. And when your appointed time arrives, the world will have no choice but to notice. You won't have to raise your voice. You won't have to demand the stage. You won't have to announce your worth, because your season, your elevation, your results will do it for you. When your season comes, it will say everything your silence has been holding. It will speak of faith, patience, and perseverance. It will shout the truth that you never gave up, even when it was hard to keep believing.